The M2R Warrior. This is an interesting flashlight. Let's just jump right into how it functions. And this button here, that's your on button, pretty intuitive. Press and hold for 1 lumen. Press hold again for 15. Again for 60, and I just jumped up to 250, and press and hold up to the 700. Now if I double click, that gets me up to the 1500, and if I triple click, that gets me to strobe. However, what this light was designed for, what it's being marketed as, is a tactical flashlight. Thus, introduces us to this end, which is the tail switch. Now, I'm going to come at this more of an EDC light than a tactical light, but an EDC light that can function as possibly a self-defense light. But for me, actually there's a lot of convenience here. I'll get into that a little bit later. But while we're talking about it, you have on the tail switch, you can see it doesn't protrude, right? Because that's how you charge this. This is their normal charging O-light with the magnetic blue circle base bottom there, USB. But if I soft press, that's a momentary on for 1500 lumens. If I hard press it, now you've just got steady on for that 1500 lumens. Also, what you can do is if you press and hold in and then press this button, that puts it into strobe mode. Turn it off, do the same thing. So again, momentary on, 1500 lumens. If I press all the way in, I have to hold it. That is my strobe mode. But hold it, press this button, and it breaks it back to momentary on, steady on at that 1500 lumens. What I have found about this is actually it's really convenient to just pull it out of your pocket and use this very, very quickly. Obviously, you can see how that would work in a tactical or self-defense situation, but honestly, even from an EDC perspective, it's very convenient to just pull out and then use this very quickly. Now, understand that you're also throwing out 1500 lumens. So sometimes I forget and I'm just thinking about the convenience of it, and if I'm looking at something real close, man, that 1500 lumens will blind me. So something to think about there, but I do like the convenience of it. I will throw in a quick early night shot, but we went out camping over the weekend and I used this to spot some deer at night. One thing about the this on button up front is it's relatively easy to find. Generally what I do with these is I align the pocket clip opposite of the on button. That way it gives me at least this anchor point, if you will, to then kind of find the on button. Also, you have this portion right here that is kind of the octagonal, whatever you want to call that, but it's a different tactile feel than anything else. So once you find that, again, you can rotate, boom. This is tactile enough where you can feel it, and it's got a little bump in the center. You can feel that also. Just slightly protrudes there, but at least gives you enough that, yeah, you know, sometimes I have to, okay, where am I, where is it? Oh, okay, I got it. Not a bad thing. It's generally easy to find, but that does happen, which brings me back to this one. That's why I like this one so much. Again, you're throwing out 1500 lumens, so that could be a positive thing. It could be a negative thing depending on what you're doing. If you're looking at self-defense, if you're looking at a tactical type of situation, which if you're like me, likely not going to happen, but at least it's quick and easy to find there. See the body construction of it? You've got some, I don't know if that's quite knurling, but you've got some grooves in there in the main body portion that function well for grip. You've got a place to put a small lanyard, and you also have a double-sided pocket clip. Now, I have put this on a brim of a hat, and it works, but it's heavy enough that you notice that's there. It's 5.26 ounces, and we're coming in at about just over 5 inches on this thing. So it's a bit hefty, a bit long. So when you put it on the brim of a hat, it works, but you do notice that it is there. You can take this off and then switch it around and put it down here so you can do tip up and tip down carry. If I were to use knife speak, meaning this flashlight can be carried with tip flashlight up or flashlight down in your pocket. Carries well. I have actually been using this as my EDC. You guys know that flashlights that are this size, I do not mind for EDC carry. In fact, I would recommend it. However, some people may not like to carry something this big. If you guys own Olights and you're used to the very, very strong magnets on the bottom here where you'd be placing them on something and they're going to hold very well, this is not one of those. I think the main reason it's magnetic is just the charging purposes. That said, you can use it on certain things, especially if it's hanging upside down. It tends to like that a little bit. Where I found that it doesn't like it is when you put it horizontal like this. You got to be real careful because the weight just wants to pull it off. So for me, it's kind of a bonus when it does stick, but you got to be careful there. So just note, this is not as strong as some of the other magnets that they have, magnetic bottoms rather, that they have that are out there. So it is an 18650 rechargeable. I believe you can put a normal 18650 battery in. However, if memory serves, you may be somewhat limiting in the modes you can use. I'll have to double check that one. But how I kind of see this being used, again, EDC use, that's how I've been using it and really, really like it. Camping. I took this up camping and just loved it for the fact of getting up in the trailer with all the kids. I put it in, boom, 1 lumen, and I'm not bugging anybody. But I can also go out real quick and hit that tail switch, and I've got the 1500 lumens, and man, that just lights up the camping area very quickly. Again, not having to hunt for this on button. Kind of a bonus there is how I see it. This is IPX8 waterproof, and it does come with the charger. It also comes with a sheath. Sorry, I don't have the charger on me right now, so I'll have to roll some B footage in there. It also comes with a sheath. Again, I haven't used the sheath. I've just generally, like I said, this carries, for me, I don't mind the size. You may not like it, but for me, I don't mind this size, so I'll just carry it pocket rather than carrying a sheath. That's just one more thing on my belt, and my belt has limited real estate with all the other stuff I carry. So generally, right into the pocket using that pocket clip, and it carries well. The 1500 lumen mode will be there for, I think they advertise an hour and something minutes, but one thing you gotta understand, and this is true with all flashlights, is that it will not sustain that 1500 lumens that long. Rather, what happens with these lights at those high lumens is they will normally stay on, using this one as an example, it will stay on for 3 minutes at that 1500 lumen. After the 3 minutes, what it does is it starts to ramp down, and every flashlight I have is like that. It will not maintain that full lumen count. Somebody got all their panties in a bunch on one of my other videos about that. That's pretty standard. I thought people knew that, apparently not, so good call out, so I'm mentioning it in this one. That said, I turned it on to that 1500 lumen and timed it at 3 minutes, and honestly, I didn't notice the ramp down when it hit the 3 minute mark because it's so slight. I didn't have the time to leave it for 20 minutes and 30 minutes to see what it would look like, so I don't know there. But in fact, a lot of these, when we do the night shots, sometimes when it gets to those higher levels, it doesn't seem to be that big a difference on some of those levels. So maybe that's why I didn't notice it. It's just a very small ramp down that's not that noticeable. The M2R Warrior, it's a light that I really like. I like it for EDC personally. Size does not bother me. Hopefully you guys can take a look at this and that helps you make an informed decision if you want to do it or not. Thanks much for watching. We'll see you.